Welcome to T News 9 channel, your source for the latest chapters of New Humanity. Today, we bring you Chapter 16, The Fall of Nova Square. The city's heart is bleeding. Nova Square, once the shining beacon of Astrahaven, is now a war zone. The streets, once bustling with life, are now overrun. Imagine a river of nightmares flowing through the avenues that the scene as Class 1 packs swarm like starving wolves, their growls echoing off the shattered glass of what were once thriving shops. But they aren't the only terror. Looming over the chaos are the Class 2 giants. These behemoths tear through storefronts with horrifying ease, tossing cars aside like children's toys. Their movements are not random. They are a tide of destruction, converging on a single, impossible point. A young man named Eli. He isn't alone. With Lyra and Haley by his side, they desperately navigate the labyrinth of alleys. Their destination, a hidden network of tunnels, their only hope for escape. But the sky offers no sanctuary. Suddenly, a new threat descends. Drones, sleek, metallic, and deadly. These are T-Corp hunters, hundreds of them, filling the air with a menacing hum. Hale, ever the protector, lets out a furious snarl. A powerful shockwave erupts from him, a raw display of force that shatters half the drones in an instant. But it's not enough. More pour in from the darkened sky, a relentless swarm. They unleash their primary weapons, electrified harpoons, specifically designed to pierce mutated flesh and neutralize their targets. The creatures below, the very monsters that were hunting Eli, sense this new, greater threat. In a shocking turn, they shift their focus. An instinct to protect their own kind, or perhaps something more primal, takes over. Dozens of them charge, not at Eli, but at the T-Corp hunters, creating a brutal three-way clash. Nova Square becomes a symphony of destruction, the cold screech of steel against flesh, the savage roar of claws tearing through metal, and the endless screams of the dying. Amid the chaos, Lyra clings to Eli's coat, her voice barely a whisper against the storm of battle. "They're all coming for you," she says, her eyes wide with terror and understanding. The monsters and the soldiers. And Eli knows she's right. He is the epicenter of this storm. Tonight, Nova Square doesn't fall because of a random monster outbreak. It falls because every faction, human and inhuman, now desperately wants the same prize. The Alpha, the anomaly, the human who shouldn't exist. Chapter 17, titled, The Eyes of the Primarch. The scene opens with our heroes, Eli, Lyra, and Haley, navigating the dark, claustrophobic underground tunnels. They're on the run, seeking safety, but safety is the last thing they're about to find. Suddenly, without any warning, Eli just stops. He freezes in place, his eyes wide with a terror we haven't seen before. Lyra and Hale are confused, trying to figure out what's wrong. Is it a trap? Did he hear something? But it's so much worse than that. Something has entered Eli's mind. This isn't like the subtle psychic whispers he's experienced before. This isn't just a vague feeling of dread. This is a full-on invasion. A cold, calculating, and overwhelmingly powerful consciousness has latched onto him. There's no doubt in his mind, or ours, who it is. The Primarch, the ultimate psychic entity, the monster they've all been dreading, has found him. And it's not just observing. The Primarch is using Eli as a window. Through Eli's own eyes, it's seeing the surface world, the human resistance, everything. It's feeling the frantic thumping of Eli's heart, tasting the fear that floods his system. More than that, the Primarch is sifting through Eli's mind, analyzing his thoughts, his memories, and his psychic potential. It's evaluating him, sizing him up like a piece on a chessboard. Lyra, seeing Eli completely locked up, rushes to his side. She shakes him, calls his name, trying desperately to break him free from whatever psychic prison he's trapped in. But Eli is gone. He's caught in a vision, a horrifying glimpse into the heart of the enemy's power. He sees a colossal throne, grotesquely crafted from bone and sinew. Before this throne stand three towering figures, their presence suffocating. These are Class 3 psychics, beings of immense power, and they are looking down at him with contempt. And then, a voice echoes through the vision, a voice that is not a voice, but a command that reverberates through his very soul. The Primarch speaks directly to him. Its words a chilling prophecy and a threat. You are the bridge. You will kneel, or be broken. Just as quickly as it began, the connection shatters. Eli is violently thrown back into his own body, collapsing to the ground, gasping for air, his body trembling. Hale rushes to him, his face pale with a dawning horror. He's seen this kind of psychic contact before, but never this direct, never this powerful. He looks at Eli, his voice shaking as he asks the one question that matters. Did it speak to you? Eli can only manage a weak nod, and the look on Hale's face tells us everything we need to know. The unspoken fear is now a reality. If the Primarch can reach out and touch Eli's mind directly, from wherever it is, then the game has changed. The war isn't just coming, it's accelerating. The Primarch is making its move, and Eli is now, officially, at the center of the storm. The final battle is drawing near. Chapter 18, The Neurocrown Massacre. The city of Astrahaven is on the brink of a new kind of terror, orchestrated by none other than T-Corp's ruthless leader, Marcus Voss. Inside the cold, sterile walls of T-Corp Tower, Voss initiates Phase 2 of his chilling master plan. He unleashes hundreds of Class 2 creatures, but these aren't the mindless beasts we've seen before. Each one is fitted with a neurocrown, its surface glowing ominously with the unique signal of Voss's control. They move not with wild instinct, but with the cold precision of a programmed army. From his command room, surrounded by holographic displays, Voss utters a single, devastating command: cleanses Sector Delta. Immediately, the controlled creatures march. Their footsteps are synchronized, an unnerving, rhythmic beat of impending doom echoing through the streets. Civilians huddle in their apartments, doors locked, listening in terror as the mechanical march stops right outside. The brief silence is shattered by a wave of screams. The creatures tear through entire city blocks with terrifying efficiency. Their targets, those deemed emotionally unstable, the very people most likely to undergo the terrifying transformation. Voss watches the carnage unfold on his screens, his expression completely blank, his voice a cold whisper. Efficiency is survival. He sees this not as a massacre, but as a necessary, surgical procedure to save humanity from itself. But Voss has underestimated the power of the hive mind. Deep within its collective consciousness, the Primarch feels this artificial control as a direct violation, a perversion of its nature. A psychic roar of pure rage reverberates through every infected creature across Astrahaven. This is an insult. The effect is instantaneous and chaotic. Wild, uncontrolled creatures, driven by the Primarch's fury, turn on Voss's programmed puppets. Class 2 fights. Class 2, the raw, primal instinct of the hive, clashes with the cold, calculated logic of the machine. Astrahaven descends into an unprecedented three-way war zone: human versus hive, hive versus machine, and machine versus human. The streets become a whirlwind of violence and slaughter, and caught in the psychic crossfire is Eli, miles away. He's pulled into the mental chaos, the hive mind's rage and the victim's terror flooding his senses. He feels every single scream as if it were his own, a spectator to a city tearing itself apart from the inside out. What will be left of Astrahaven when the dust settles?
Chapter 19, The Tunnel of Echoes. The adventure continues as Hale guides Eli and Lyra into a place long forgotten, a skeletal metro route buried beneath layers of old construction. They call it the Tunnel of Echoes. As they step inside, a heavy silence falls, but it's an unnatural quiet, the kind that feels loud. The further they venture into the darkness, the more the air itself seems to hum and vibrate with an unseen energy. Suddenly, whispers start to crawl along the cold, damp walls. These aren't human voices, and they're definitely not the roars of monsters they've grown used to. These are something else entirely. Memories. It turns out the virus doesn't just infect. It records. It stores the consciousness of its past hosts like ghostly fingerprints left on the world. Eli starts to hear them, thousands of voices overlapping, a chaotic symphony of raw emotion. Fear, agonizing pain, deep, cutting regret, uncontrollable anger. The sheer volume of psychic noise is overwhelming. Lyra, more sensitive to these frequencies, clutches her ears, her face pale with distress. It's too loud. She cries out, tears streaming down her face as she tries to block out the phantom screams. Hale, ever the steady guide, calmly places a hand on the tunnel wall. As he does, it's like he's a lightning rod, absorbing some of the psychic static, giving the others a moment of relief. These are the echoes of the first infected, he explains, his voice low and serious. They are the ancient victims from the time of the Primarch's rule. In that moment, a horrifying realization dawns on Eli. The virus wasn't a freak accident of nature. It was engineered. It was a tool meticulously crafted by an ancient, powerful species who used it to achieve a twisted form of ascension. The Class 3 South weren't just evolved leaders of the infected. They were the gods of a long-forgotten empire, an empire built on this viral technology. And now, after millennia of silence, these ancient gods want their empire back. Chapter 20, titled, The Shadow That Walks. Our story continues deep within the treacherous tunnels. As Eli and Lyra make their way through the darkness, a chilling sensation crawls up Eli's spine. He feels a presence, something shadowing their every move. This isn't the familiar snarl of a Class 1, nor the calculated threat of a Class 2. It's not even Halle. This feeling is different, ancient, intelligent, and utterly silent. It's a Neo-Superior, a direct descendant of the legendary Class 3 bloodline, reborn through the very virus that ravaged their world. The creature moves like a phantom, a true shadow that seems to slip through the cracks of reality itself. It watches Eli with a cold, unnerving curiosity. Halle, sensing the shift in the air, whispers with a tremor in his voice, "This isn't normal. This one is evolved, not mutated." Just then, a figure steps from the oppressive darkness into the faint flicker of their torchlight. It's humanoid, yet impossibly elegant. Its eyes glow with an ancient, knowing intelligence that seems to pierce right through them. A voice echoes in their minds, clear and sharp, though the creature's lips never move. "We have waited for you, Alpha Human." Eli instinctively moves back, pulling Lyra behind him, a protective arm shielding her from the unknown. "What do you want from me?" he demands, his voice steady despite the fear coiling in his gut. The Neo-Superior tilts its head, a gesture of pure analytical thought, to decide whether you are a threat or a beginning. The words hang in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. Before Eli can even begin to process the statement, the ground beneath them begins to tremble violently. The deafening roar of the Primarch's approaching army echoes through the tunnels, a promise of imminent chaos. In the blink of an eye, the elegant figure vanishes back into the shadows, leaving behind one final, cryptic whisper that bores into Eli's soul. "Choose your side, Bridge. The world will not wait." What side will Eli choose? And what role does this mysterious Neo-Superior play in the coming war? The stakes have never been higher. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next chapter of New Humanity. We'll see you next time.